Good evening. I'd like to provide the American people with an update on our efforts to steal an election. Despite historic election interference, people know what's happening and they see what's happening and it's before their eyes. Our opponents, Democrats, did a fantastic job, and also I believe the party of inclusion will win the election very easily. We had polls that were so ridiculous, and everybody knew it at the time. There was no red wave that they predicted. They thought there was going to be a big red wave. That was false. It was done for suppression reasons. But instead, there was a big blue wave, and it's been properly acknowledged, actually, by the media. They were, I think, very impressed. I was talking to Kevin McCarthy today. He said he couldn't believe it. Democrats, the largest share of non-white voters in 60 years, including historic numbers of Latino, African American, Asian American, and Native American voters, the largest ever in our history. Democrats have become the party of the American worker, and that's what's happened. And also, I believe the party of inclusion, as everyone now recognizes, media polling was election interference in the truest sense of that word by powerful special interests. These really phony polls, I have to call them phony polls, fake polls, were designed to keep our voters at home, create the illusion of momentum. They were what's called suppression polls. Everyone knows that now. And it's never been used to the extent that it's been used on this last election. There are now only a few states yet to be decided in the presidential race. Democrats winning in all the key locations by a lot, actually. Mr. Biden on track to win Arizona, only need to carry, I guess, 55% of the remaining vote, 55% margins, and that's a margin that significantly exceeded, so we'll see what happens with that. Track to do okay in Arizona. Our goal is to defend the integrity of the election. We'll not steal such an important election, or any election for that matter, and we can't allow anybody to silence voters and manufacture results. I've never seen such love and such affection and such spirit as I've seen for this. People know what's happening and they see what's happening and it's before their eyes. And there are many instances which will be reported very shortly. And this is a case where we're trying to steal an election. We're trying to rig an election, and we can't have election interference. Cannot be responsible for engineering the outcome of a presidential race, a very important presidential race. And it's getting worse and worse every day. We're hearing stories that are horror stories, absolute horror stories. And we can't let that happen to the United States of America. It's not a question of who wins, Republican, Democrat, Joe, myself. You can't let that happen to our country. You can't be disgraced by having something like this happen. So it will be cleared up. As you know, I've claimed certain states, and he's claiming states, so we can both claim the states. But ultimately, I have a feeling Mr. Biden will win the election very easily. Thank you very much.